Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the story about Naruto. What if Naruto join Akatsuki? Part 2. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please do support for more awesome content and also hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends. And also support the creator of this fanfic. I have created many playlists, check it out in the channel. So let's start the video. It seems my brother's hatred was passed on to you, Naruto. The only thing your brother gave me was despair and sadness. My hate is my own. What will you do with that hate then? Kill Sasuke and burn the leaf to the ground, he said, a vicious sneer crossing his lips. Is that you or the Kyuubi talking? Itachi asked, truly curious. I don't know anymore, both I guess. Then on behalf of our leader, join us. We saved your life and share the same will of destruction as we do. Join the Akatsuki. I don't know, it's too soon for me to take sides in a world that seems to reject me. I disagree, but it's fine, I'll have Kakuzu. Kakuzu, Naruto said, cocking an eyebrow. The doctor, he stitched you up and most likely ranted about money anyway. He will drop you off outside and your life is up to you. Itachi turned and walked towards the door. Naruto's mind was filled with hatred-stained memories of his village. The looks of disgust given to him by his very own villagers. The annoyed and saddened eyes Sakura gave him as she comforted her true love. The humorous-filled eyes of Sasuke, who had planned for all this to happen. The hate boiled within him, overflowing and overheating his once peaceful mind. He wanted revenge, he wanted it to all go back to the way it once was, but there was no going back now. Wait, I will join. I will join you. Glad to hear it, welcome to the Akatsuki, Naruto. What now? You have healed up fine enough to walk around, but don't strain yourself or Kakuzu will have to stitch you up again, and he won't be pleased. Come to think of it, he never is, as Itachi said, a thin smile displayed. Where are we going? To introduce you to our organization and begin our little tour, let's go. You can walk right. Naruto nodded and hopped off his bed, only to collapse to the floor as his feet gave way. Baka baka. So I take it, do you want help? Ugh. Here Itachi lifted Naruto up and positioned his arm around his shoulder, letting Naruto lean on him as they walked down the hallway towards the living quarters of the Akatsuki. Tsunade sat down and gestured to Sakura to do the same. Jiraiya had left to go search the woods for any clues or remains of his student. The group had compassed themselves and were planning ahead for the village. Sakura wanted to bring up Sasuke in the conversation, but Tsunade beat her to it. So is Sasuke here to stay? Is he going to be cooperative or a problem? How is he coping? He is as devastated as the rest of us. He lost a friend, believe it or not. He only kept his act up to keep people away. He is here to stay. He wants to live the life Naruto wanted for him. I see, Sakura. People have to know. Everyone needs to know now. It was not any of our faults. It was just a big misunderstanding. Jiraiya and others may think it's someone's fault. They may think any one of us are horrible people or could give a damn less about Naruto. But the truth is, I have taken his death as if it was my own brother. Naruto meant the world to everyone he knew. There were a few villagers who hated him because he was a jinchuuriki, but it was all unlucky and a huge misunderstanding. At the time he was angry and we were all in shock from seeing Sasuke. We said bad things and bad things happened. We will all regret what we did, but I'm sure Naruto would not want us to suffer from it, right? Tsunade, no one has told you, have they? Told me what? Naruto slashed his headband, scratched out the Konoha symbol and stained it with his blood. He told me that we had all driven him to the edge and he could not live this way anymore. He hated us up until his death. Tsunade. To see, well, there is nothing we can do now. We can only bury him like a hero and pay our tributes to one of the village's best ninja. Yes. And Sasuke? Well, you flat out said you love him. You dumped Naruto for him, you decide. Tsunade, I don't bullshit us. Sakura, love is the most destructive weapon known to man. Leave it be, what's done is done. I will help Sasuke recover and find his place in the village. I will help him live the life Naruto wanted for him. I find myself in tears, but he's all I have left. Itachi led Naruto through the well-lit tunnels of the Akatsuki main base. Naruto could tell it was underground due to the lack of windows and reinforced frame holding the tunnel together. The sound of yelling and glass smashing greeted them up ahead. Oh boy, well, you are about to meet our first member, Hiden. An explosion sounded and more swearing was called. And what seems to be Dadara, this will be interesting. Stay close. Okay, if you say so. They opened a steel vault door and entered a room that seemed to be made of solid steel and stone. It was a training sparring court. Two men fought each other violently and taunted each other just as vulgar as such killers should. The third man sat to one side at a table, counting what seemed like wager money. He slipped a few bills in his pocket when the two weren't looking. "Ah, you piece of shit, stop evading my swipes with your fucking clay. Hidden, my evasive maneuvers and grand display of explosion is my true art." The one named Hayden was swiping a large three-headed scythe from side to side, trying to cut apart the blonde-haired man named Deidara. Hayden was a fast-paced fanatical fighter who cared very little about his own safety. Deidara, however, was very skilled in evasive skills and explosive techniques used for both offense and defense. "Deidara, you are nothing but a clay pussy baka." The third man chuckled. "For a man who hides behind his immortality, you can't talk, Hayden. Kakuzu, shut your fucking hole." Naruto realized at once, that's the guy who stitched me up, Kakuzu. "Well, would you look at that, the kid is up already, looks like you owe me 50 ryo, Deidara." The two men stopped their sparring and stared at Naruto with amusement and suspicion. Now that Hayden had stopped flailing around so quickly, Naruto could get a good look at his new comrade. Hayden was a white-haired, tall, and built man who carried a strong aura of humor and violence. Naruto could tell from the beginning. Who is this little shrimp? Looks barely old enough to piss on his own. "I'm 17, baka." Hayden's eyes shot wide open. "The hell you say, boy?" He sprinted towards the boy. Itachi moved to intercept, but Naruto pulled him back. Naruto sprinted towards the man and drove his fist deep into Hayden's stomach, winding the man and sending him back down onto the court. He lay there whooping for air and, above all else, laughing like a loon. "I'm sorry, I had to test the new guy. Passed my test." His face eased and his features turned stone cold. He bared his teeth savagely at Naruto. "However, if you do that again, I'll beat you to death with the same severed arm that touches me, got it?" "Sure thing, chum." Hayden turned red at this, but Deidara pushed him out of the way and extended his hand. "Don't mind him, I'm Deidara. Good to see I won't be the only blonde here. Say, do you appreciate art?" "Not really, I would rather spend my time training than being a sissy painting pictures and pretty drawings." This made Hayden laugh hard. "This kid is killing me. Watch your words or you will find me hidden in your room, waiting to deal your death." Deidara's hand spat out a small caterpillar which no doubt was highly explosive. "By the look of your girly ponytail, would you be hiding in the closet by any chance?" Hayden was drinking a glass of sake and spat it out all over the floor in hysterical fits of laughter. "Let's move on, Naruto, you seem to fit in fine. Hang on, let me go say thanks." Naruto walked over to Kakuzu and placed 50 ryo on the table. "Thanks for helping me, Deidara, almost forgot to give this to you." Deidara patted his pockets and realized he had been mugged, baka. "Serves you right, shall we continue?" "Yeah, whatever, I'll send you to Jashin in no time." Itachi and Naruto moved along the corridor, moving to the next room, where Naruto will no doubt meet more strange people. Well, that went well. Sorry, I needed to face it head on and let them know I'm not here to fuck around. Oh, I know you survived your first encounter with Hayden just fine. Many are dead at this point. They came to another large room. It was a massive library with bookshelves acting as the four main walls. Packed with books of every kind. It was a comfortable room with decent flooring and a roaring fire. In the middle of the room at a large oak table sat a boy who looked no older than Naruto. He was working on a large puppet with an array of tools and gadgets. He looked up and nodded. "Hi, new kid, right? Yeah, are you as well?" "Not really, I'm older than everyone you will meet except Kakuzu and that Zetsu guy." "Really, how old are you?" "Oh, about 35 now." "Say what?" "Yup, got a problem with it." No, it's just odd. Because of my young body, right?" "Yeah, you look no older than me." "Because this body is a puppet, you could say I'm a ghost controlling an empty husk." "Hey Itachi, let's move along," he whispered, as quiet as possible. "This guy gives me the creeps." Walking down yet another tunnel, Naruto and Itachi moved to the next destination, passing various rooms of leisure, pleasure, and training. It seemed the Akatsuki had every requirement covered and much more. What they needed was easily provided. The Akatsuki were well and truly wealthy, it seemed. Itachi looked shocked, then calm. He turned to Naruto. "Looks like our next member is in the kitchen. Let's just avoid this one. He's odd but untrustworthy." "What do you mean by odd?" "Just listen." Naruto pressed his ear to the door of the kitchen and listened to the strange member talk to himself like a lunatic. "Oh, no one around me wonders if they have yes dumplings. Yes, I can have some. Yes. None of those smelly guys are around. Not even Deidara-chan. This grub is all mine. I can't believe Mr. Zetsu let me join. Oh, Toby is a good boy after all. Dumplings." Naruto pulled his head away with a truly distraught expression. This guy is a complete nutcase, it seemed. Naruto had no idea why Itachi of all people feel uneasy about this guy. Naruto was about to leave when suddenly the member named Tobi's head burst through the wall and spotted the two. "Oh hey there Mr. Itachi, hey there Mr. Who? Naruto Uzumaki. Aren't the Uzumakis all dead?" Naruto drove his fist into the wall. Tobi seemed to float his head to one side and dodged the blow. Tobi had not cracked or crumbled the wall, he seemed to be ghosting out of it like someone emerging from water. He was a part of the very wall itself. Well, bye-bye. He sunk back into the wall to the open kitchen room to snack on dumplings, it seemed. Naruto now knew why this character was so shady. Naruto had not seen such a jutsu ability before. Naruto could tell his new comrades were certainly a strange bunch. But he had revenge to seek and a city worth burning. They would have to do. Itachi led Naruto to what looked like an elevator. They stepped inside and closed the solid steel cage. Itachi connected his hand to a buttonless console, activated it, and began to pull the two up from underground to the tall building above. The harsh brightness of daylight hurt Naruto's eyes and forced him to squint until they adjusted. "Hey, how does this elevator work? Power oil. Chakra. I'm feeding a little of my chakra to power the motors. Civilians can't use it that way." "Cool, Kunai. No, if you used your chakra, the elevator would ascend at high speeds and crush itself on impact with the top floor, killing us both and rendering our bodies nothing more than mush. Your Kyuubi chakra is far too powerful." "Oh right, so who are we meeting next?" "The last three. The first one is our corporation's messenger scout. I must warn you, he looks more like a plant than he does a human. Zetsu is certainly unique." The ground around the two shimmered and a large plant seemed to rise out of the elevator floor itself. It looked like a large Venus flytrap. It wore an Akatsuki robe like the rest of the team. The mouth split open, revealing a half-black half-white being simply known as Zetsu. "Hello. He's Zetsu. You are two kinds of Itachi. Your compliments bring me joy." "Is this the new member? Does not look like much." "He is the Nine-Tails Jinchuuriki. He is more than much." "Oh, a new member, the white one cooed. Welcome Naruto, we are the Akatsuki's scouts and intel gatherers. If you fail to succeed in missions or sell us out in any way or form, if you dare to cross us and challenge our knowledge and experience, we will kill you as slowly and painfully as possible. Failure is not an option," the darker one stated. "Don't worry about him. Black Zetsu is known for his ferocity. Not like me. Got it, I won't let you down." At this, Zetsu closed up and submerged without a sound. "Time to meet our leader." The top floor of the building was illuminated by the rows and rows of windows letting through the new day's sunlight. There were two large doors at the end of the long hallway. Above these doors was a perfectly folded origami angel that seemed to float as if hung by strings. It turned to them, and a few seconds later the large doors creaked open. And a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. They moved with both grace and a sense of dangerous protection. "This is our leader's partner and second-in-command, Konan." The figure emerged from the dark and revealed to Naruto that it was a woman. Her beauty was bold, but not enhanced by any makeup or perfumes. Her beauty was pure appearance. "I see this is our newest member, Naruto Uzumaki." "Why, my lady?" Konan giggled. It seemed she was more girly and relaxed in nature when she was at home, not on missions or killing people for a living. "Are you here to see Nagato?" "Correct, Itachi." "Yes." "Well, Naruto is to enter alone. Nagato and Naruto, both being of the same clan, have a lot to talk about." "I understand." Naruto, go in. Naruto took a deep breath and gulped hard. He was about to meet the leader of the Akatsuki, his own leader now. He was coldly nervous to the bone. One wrong move and you could be killed or tortured. He stepped inside and closed the heavy doors behind him. The darkness was thick and menacing, but he saw a lit doorway at the end of the hallway and moved towards it. He knocked and the door swung open, but no one had pushed it open for him. "Enter Naruto Uzumaki, my long-lost clansman." He entered a warmly lit room, a fire roared, and the room was decorated with books, fine rugs, and trophies of the Akatsuki's triumphs. Near the fire was a large throne-like chair. Sitting on it was a middle-aged man with long red hair. The fringe covered one eye, but left one eye unscathed. That eye glowed purple with the power of the Rinnegan. Nagato was a godlike figure indeed. His back contained multiple protruding chakra rods which no doubt powered something or someone. The back of the throne had a large hole carved out of the throne, so Nagato could sit black against it, his chakra rods protruding out the hole like swords in a chest. Take a seat, we have much to discuss, Nagato gestured. Are you really an Uzumaki like me? I thought I was alone. I was alone, Naruto said. His throat felt dry, it was a lot to take in. Yes, my family had moved to the Hidden Rain village long ago. They were needed to help seal a troublesome salamander the size of a house. Then they fell in love with the land and decided to stay. I was born in the Hidden Rain and call it my home. So you and I might be related like a family. There is a possibility, I'm sure Kakuzu can test our blood to find out. The leaf, they threw me out of Nagato like trash because I'm a tailed beast. I understand the leaf is not all paradise. In truth, the hidden leaf is a hubris, gloating society of old soldiers who want nothing more than to profit from war and devastation. They were going to eventually use you, Naruto, that's all you were to them, a loaded weapon, but not here to us. You are a member, a brother, and even a student. I still need to get used to being taught by someone else other than my sensei. Who is your sensei? Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin. He is probably the only one who understood me and probably misses me right now, damn it. Nagato's eyes went wide, as if the past had come back to hit him. He remembered his old master, and fresh nostalgic memories of their childhood returned to him, especially memories of Chibi and Yuhiko. Nagato realized now, not only was Naruto a fellow clans member, he was a sibling disciple. Nagato saw great promise in this boy. Are you okay, Nagato? I mean, master. Yes, it's nothing, please call me Nagato. You and I are like brothers now. I won't have my members teach you anything, however. What, why not? Because I will become your sensei. We both share wind chakra, correct? Really, you have wind chakra? The Rinnegan I possess grants me use of all forms of chakra. I will teach you our ways, and you will someday take my place. Really, me? Of course, we share the same clan, blood, and sensei after all. Wait, what, you and Pervy Sage? I suppose Pervy Sage is a good name for him, yes. Jiraiya sensei taught me how to be a shinobi. He taught you? Yes, we can talk more later about Naruto. I need to know what you aim for. What is your goal through us? I want it all to burn, every leaf in that forest, to be turned to ash. And so it shall be, my student. Sasuke walked down the empty streets. No one was in Konoha, it seemed. He was all alone. Where is everyone? Sasuke? He turned around to see his friend standing in the street clutching his stomach. A large slash had cut Naruto wide open, spilling his intestines over his hands, which desperately tried to push them back in. In one of Naruto's hands was a bloodied kunai which had done the damage. Sasuke felt like vomiting at the gruesome sight. Naruto. Sasuke, you did this to me. Your hatred, your despair passed on to me. This is all you. Naruto stumbled to his knees, his eyes beginning to bleed and his hair falling out in tufts. Sasuke began to run towards Naruto, but he was not moving as he ran. Sasuke sprinted on the spot, but was not moving any closer to Naruto. He outstretched his arm and tried to reach Fr Naruto, tears spilling down his eyes. Naruto, give me your hand. No. The ground opened up and a large furry claw wrapped around the mangled boy and pulled him down to the depths of hell, it seemed. The Kyuubi's roaring laughing ripped through Sasuke's mind. He began to scream in the real world. Sasuke awoke covered in thick sweat. He gripped his chest and gasped for fresh air. He screamed, and he knew it. It was more than a nightmare, it was haunting at the very least. Sasuke folded his head in his hands and wept. Naruto had come to him yet again in his nightmares, which had become more and more frequent. Sasuke? Sakura had pushed open the door and ran in at the sound of Sasuke's distressed nightmares. Sasuke was staying in Sakura's spare bedroom until he found an apartment in Konoha and put it back into the shinobi system. What's wrong, Sasuke? It's okay, I'm here. She cradled him in her arms, his bare chest shiny with perspiration. Naruto, he came to me. It's my fault, oh god, I miss him, Sakura, oh god. His tears spilled down his cheeks as he let it all out. It was hard for a shinobi to cry, especially at Uchiha, but these are by no means a normal circumstance. Sasuke, he always loved you so dearly, and now his greatness wish has come true. You have come back to the village, which is all he ever wanted. We'll always wanted you. Well, that's different, Sasuke, please, I loved him, but it was so early. I fell in love with the man he became, but I've been. You have been. I have been in love with you since the beginning, Sasuke. I feel horrible for what I have done, but I love you. Sasuke thought long and hard as she talked. Naruto wanted him to live a happy life in the village. Would he ruin his friendship with Naruto by confessing his love to Sakura? He was unsure, but he knew Naruto wanted him to be happy and live a normal life. Love would be the quickest way to achieve this. I'll do it, I've been a cold bastard for too long. What is your answer, Sasuke? I love you, and I will never let you go. I owe both you and Naruto my love and company. I've been a fool all these years, and I am sorry for everything I have done, all the sins I have committed, the things I've done to Naruto, and you unforgivable, I'm sorry. She cut him off and pulled him into a deep tear-filled kiss of intense passion and desire. Their lips parted and their tongues met, tangling with each other in attempts to learn each other's grooves. Years of stress and desired love released in this moment of magical bliss. They were too caught up in their love to notice the pair of bright white eyes peering in from outside. It seemed the Byakugan could see through lies and deceit as well as chakra. The Hyuga heiress clenched her fists as she watched the two make out and begin to strip off. Her teeth tightened in a sneer of pure rage and hatred almost equivalent to an Uchiha. Hinata had seen more than enough. She leaped down from the branch of the tree, impacting on the soft ground without a sound. Her mind was filled with questions and furious tendencies. The always shy, timid, and caring Hyuga was now alive with a boiling head of emotions. She ran to the park to try to cool off her emotions, but it was too much. She drove her fist into a tree and crushed its bark like paper. "Whore, filthy deceiving whore," she screamed out at the night. She took something so special, so important like Naruto's love, and tears it up, leaving him broken, so she can make out with Sasuke the criminal. She felt such intense anger towards the two who had no doubt drove Naruto to his death. Tears streamed down her face as she yet again broke down and lay there on the grass crying. She knew she had to tell someone or ask for help, but she had no idea what to do. "I'm so lost without him, my one love gone. I know that feeling, Hinata." She heard rustling beyond the bushes. A tall, broad man entered the clearing and pulled Hinata to her feet and embraced her. The man smelled of sake and misery, but she accepted the hug nonetheless. She pulled away and stared wide open at the mess that once was Jiraiya. His clothes dirty and tattered, his face unshaven and dirty likewise. "Jiraiya-sensei, what are you doing out here? You have been drinking." "Just call me Jiraiya, please. I can't bear to be a teacher, not anymore. I've been drinking every night since it happened. I've been looking for answers in these woods, maybe a clue. I just don't know anymore. I lost the closest thing I had to a son." Naruto, tears streamed down the man's face as he gave in yet again. "They all say it was an accident that drove him to it. They all usher it off as if it were truly an accident. I refuse to believe it. Jiraiya, Sakura, and Sasuke are to blame. I know it. I'll never forgive them. We need to see Tsunade about this. Naruto can't be dead, no." "Well, you go. I've tried reasoning with her. She would rather move on than dwell on such a depression event in this village's history. God luck." "What about you, Jiraiya? What are you going to do?" "I'm a mess. Maybe I'll shave and visit Naruto's supposed grave, clear my head. I'll meet up with you soon. Thank you, Hinata." The two separated, and Hinata began her sprint towards the Hokage office, hoping for answers and punishment for those who deserved it. Nagato smiled. His student was mastering his chakra extremely well. The two were on a concrete courtyard behind the headquarters of the Akatsuki. Naruto was tasked to bend his wind chakra and rip a small object apart. Nagato was currently using the Diva Path's body, also known as Yahiko, but Naruto just called him Nagato despite this. Konan sat next to him, comforting the Diva Path. Naruto suspected a relationship was going on, but he did not want to be rude and asked, "Good Naruto, in the Hidden Leaf Village you would have done this activity with a leaf or a piece of paper, but we Akatsuki must surpass the weak. Now open your hands and show me your progress." Naruto opened up his hand and grinned at the sheet of metal that his chakra tore in half. The thin sheet of metal was torn right down the middle, as if cut by a katana. His chakra was more powerful than it ever had been. Nagato's training was a success. "I did it, thanks, sensei." "Good, now go get some rest and come back in a couple of hours. We will begin phase 2 sooner than expected. Good work." "Thanks." Naruto made his way towards the headquarters entrance hatch. Behind him, Konan let out a little giggle as Nagato kissed down her neck. Naruto was glad the Akatsuki weren't all mindless killers, they were just fun killers, and he was one of them now. He walked past a violent game of ping pong being played between Kisame and Haiden. The game only lasted 3 minutes before Haiden broke the table in anger, and Kakuzu took the amount off Haiden's paycheck. Naruto lay down on his bunk and let sleep take him. "We need to talk." Naruto Uzumaki. "Who, what, huh?" Naruto opened his eyes expecting to see a Akatsuki member or a Shinigami, but instead he opened his eyes to the large chamber which housed the Kyuubi. It had been a long time since the two spoke. It seemed the Kyuubi was up to date on current affairs. I misjudged you, Naruto. It seems there is hate in you after all, and you seek the destruction of the leaf. We now finally think alike. I may want the leaf destroyed, but that does not mean we are allies. Fox, you caused all this. It's your fault I was thrown out. You dare blame me? Just because you are a jinchuuriki does not mean you are supposed to be hated. Look at Suna. Huh, what about it? It seems I know something you don't. Gar, the Shukaku-tailed beast, is now the Kazuki, and the people love him. Why is it that the leaf hate you? Because it's not you or me, Naruto, it's them. The hidden cloud also cherishes its Hachibi-tailed beast. Konoha just hates who you are. They deserve our hate. Let me help you. No, you gotta be lying. They let a jinchuuriki become a cage, but that's not fair. They would never do that for me. This is not fair. Why is it always me? Damn it, why? We can work together now. I once hated you, but that's because you were an arrogant blind boy who loved his lying village. You were wrong about them this whole time. I was right in a way, Naruto. I have been there for you more than anyone else. Yeah. Rest on it, I'll let you dream, and you can talk to me about it anytime through our mind. Make the right choice. Let me grant you the power to kill that Uchiha. Naruto liked the sound of that. He liked it a lot. Hinata knocked on the large wooden doors outside the Hokage's main office suite. She was not there for formalities or small talk. She wanted answers, and she wanted them now. Come in, it's unlocked. Hinata pushed the door open and walked in, not smiling or acting shy in the least. Tsunade saw this and knew something was up. Shizune sat at another desk, doing paperwork regarding the loss of a jinchuuriki and the funeral arrangements and memorial displays. Shizune, give me and Tsunade a minute please. But I have to do paperwork. It's okay, Shizune, leave me and Hinata alone for a minute, thanks. Yes. Shizune closed the door behind her and the room became silent. They could hear the people down on the streets. Someone was partying. This made Hinata grew furious and red. Those heartless bastards partying after such an event. She gestured viciously out the window, lights and cheers in the downtown districts. Hinata calms down. The villagers don't know any better. Many people don't know of Naruto's death, Tsunade said, shocked. Half of them wanted his goddamn death, she shouted. Hinata, this is not like you. And Sasuke Uchiha is one of those people. Hinata, Sasuke once hated Naruto, yes, but he escaped captivity. He came to the village seeking refuge and acceptance, and Naruto got out of control. Bullshit, that is a load of bullshit. Please understand him and Sakura both feel, Tsunade pleaded. Oh, please don't get me started on that whore, Hinata interrupted. Hinata, that is enough, Tsunade shouted. I saw Sakura and Sasuke making out and fucking, as if Naruto was never fucking born. Hinata, Sakura loves Naruto. Tsunade roared, rising from her chair, fists clenched. Bullshit. She threw away his love for a criminal, tossed away the one man. I wish she trailed off, her rage faltering. Hinata, do you love? Tsunade felt her own anger blunt. She now felt great shame and sympathy for this woman. Yes, goddammit, I love Naruto. Uzumaki, tears spilled down her face. Her spirit broke and she sunk to her knees and wept. I see. I loved him more than Sakura ever pretended. He never noticed me, but that's my fault. If I was more out there and involved, he would truly see Sakura threw away a golden man, a perfect ninja, like trash, and I'll never forgive her for her lusting sin. Well, what do you want now? What's done is done, Hinata. I know you loved him, but it's over. I want Sasuke gone, Sakura too, not dead, just gone. They have done enough. You know I can't do that to my students. What about Jiraiya-sensei? How do you think he feels about his student, huh? It's all their fault, and you would just stand here and make goddamn excuses, she screamed. I can't throw people out of the village on suspicion of murder. Sasuke has changed, Hinata. So have I. I'm gone. What? Hinata took her Konoha headband from her pocket and slashed its symbol, her tears spilling down her cheeks as her angry eyes glared at the Hokage, never breaking their stare. Hinata threw down the headband on the desk and sneered. Naruto is alive. I will find him, and I will end this. I'm leaving. Hinata, tears began to well at the corners of Tsunade's eyes. Everything came crashing down around her. I would rather be an outcast, an Uzumaki, than an imprisoned Konoha Hyuga. Goodbye, sensei. If you leave those gates, you will be equal to an Akatsuki member, please. Who do you think I'm going to? No, please, I'm begging you, stay, just don't join them, please. Don't get in my way. Hinata stepped out the door and grabbed her duffel bag that she had already packed. She was ready to leave the village and begin her search, but first she had two places to stop by before she left. Naruto's house and Naruto's grave. So here we are, Naruto. I wanted you to be the one to bury me, not the other way around. Although we had nothing to bury, It only hurts more. I have lost the will to write. I'm sorry, maybe I'll start writing again, but not now. Your mother and father would be proud of the ninja you became. So much potential." Jiraiya's words broke off into fits of sobbing as he mourned his list student. He heard footsteps behind him and recognized Hinata's chakra. He hoped she came bearing good news. God knew he could use it. "Well, how did it go?" "I'm leaving the village. I'm sorry, they won't change their mind." "How long are you leaving for?" "Jiraiya." "How long?" "I've slashed out Konoha from my life. The cut is deep in my headband. I can't live in such a village." "Oh Hinata, why would you cut your ties with this village?" "Because Sasuke and Sakura killed the one man I truly loved. They killed Naruto. My dream is gone." "Hinata, you love Naruto more than Sakura ever pretended to. I need to go. Tsunade will try to stop me. Please don't follow me." Before Jiraiya could reply to Hinata, she vanished from his sight. He felt so helpless and confused. If only Naruto had known about Hinata's love, it would have saved him. He took a deep gulp of sake and made his way towards the Hokage office. Hinata pushed open the door and stepped into Naruto's apartment. It was so large and empty. No family photos. He lived alone, and it was very apparent. It made her sick inside knowing he lived a life of such misery. She crossed the room and spotted what she was after, the first Hokage's necklace. One of Naruto's most prized possessions. She slipped in over her head and let the pendant sink down into the space between her breasts. "I'm ready to go now to the Akatsuki." Naruto ducked as a steel sword swiped over his head. It sang through the air and collided with a rock, splitting it in two. The sword was attached to the Asura Path's transforming arm and acted like a fist-mounted blade. The Asura Path was more machine than man and served as Pain's jack-of-all-trades form, being able to shoot rockets to forming buzz saws out of its own hands. Good dodge. Now up high. The blade came down on Naruto, but he rolled to the side and stuck his kunai deep into the Asura Path's stomach. Nagato deactivated the path and smiled. "If I felt physical pain, that probably would have hurt. Good work, my student." "Piece of cake, Nagato." "Yes, Naruto. When do I get my first mission, you know?" "You seem very eager. Give us a few hours to organize something." "But Naruto, you must realize. You're no longer in the Leaf. You are one of us. We kill people for money. We are mercenaries. There is no doubt that hell might await us at death. Are you sure you are ready?" "I'm ready. I'll kill those who are in my way." Nagato smiled and noticed Itachi standing behind both of them, patient but persistent. There was no doubt he had something important to inform Nagato on. "I'm sorry to interrupt your training session. Nagato's scout report is in another exile for the Hidden Leaf." "Wait, what did you say?" "Itachi has someone I knew left the village." "Why?" "Another leaf ninja has slashed off their mark and has left the village." "Yes, I don't know who. It's in the report which Nagato must read first before telling." Itachi passed the envelope to Nagato. It was marked with a sealing jutsu which could not be broken by simple force. The right person had to deactivate the jutsu by hand. Nagato bit his thumb and spread the blood along the envelope. A plume of smoke puffed outwards and the mark was gone. He opened it and began reading the report inside. A faint smile flickered across his face. "Looks like you aren't quite alone and hate it after all, Naruto." "Who is it?" "Hinata Hyuga." She slashed off her Konoha symbol right in front of the Hokage and threw it down on the desk. "The report says it was because of a dispute involving you. It seems she loves Ugh. Never mind, I'll leave that for later." "Why would she do that?" "Because she loves you. At least I think that's for you to find out." "What's going to happen to her?" "We can't kill her. Please don't." "No, she will join us like you. She made the effort to leave, therefore she has a rightful place among our organization. Just watch out for Haiden. He is a sleaze around women. She has always been there for me. It only took me until now to realize I'm such a baka." Nagato turned to Itachi and nodded. Itachi geared up and headed out to the Fire Country to retrieve yet another member. If this was frequent, the Akatsuki would be an army, not an organization. "Bring her in, but do not tell her Naruto is alive, okay?" "Yes, Nagato, it will be done." Hinata adjusted her shoulders and hefted the pack upward, granting her a few new seconds of relief from its heavy contents. She decided to take a rest over by a boulder off a beaten path. She sat and pondered the things she said to Tsunade. It was all racing so fast. She could not believe she left the village, but she was still glad nonetheless. "I should not have said I was joining the Akatsuki. I was just being mean. The Akatsuki have tried to kill Naruto multiple times. They are no better than the shinobi back at Konoha. That's right, I'm a renegade ninja now like Sasuke used to be alone." She pulled out a map and began to plan her next plan of action. If Naruto was alive, he would not have gone far without help from others, which she doubted a lone jinchuuriki would receive so easily. She would search every village and ask if they had seen such a man walk through. I won't stop until I find him. I can't fail him. I won't fail him. Tsunade was halfway through a bottle of sake when the door knocked. It was a hard day, and Hinata running off did not ease the stress and sadness in the least. Go away, I'm drinking, she sobbed. That's why I want to come in, he said sternly. Jiraiya. The one and only. Come in, she sighed. The door opened and Jiraiya walked in. Tsunade could see that he was in a worse state than her. He pulled up a chair and began to drink with Tsunade. Neither of them spoke until the silence was unbearable to her. What do you want? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so goddamn sorry I accepted your offer. As Hokage, I'm sorry I let him die. I'm sorry Hinata left, just it's all my fault, and I don't know how it all happened. I'm to blame. No. You aren't to blame at all. No one in this village is to blame. If this were one of my books, the readers would hate everyone in Konoha, but as an author I am saying no, it's not any of our faults except those two, especially Sasuke. You can't honestly think Sakura had to do with any of it. From what I heard, it does. Of all people, you should know Naruto's feelings for Sakura ever since he began at the academy. She must have taken it as a joke, but the whole time he was serious, just like Hinata's feelings for Naruto. But at least Naruto did not notice Hinata's feelings. If he had noticed, they would be together long ago. Sakura knew his feelings and she traded him for Sasuke. Jiraiya, the heart wants what it wants. I admit she did it in the worst way possible, but she loves Sasuke. I know all about what the heart wants. Tsunade, all those years with you are no different to those two. Naruto loved Sakura like I loved you, but that's long ago. I'm just an old perv, a pervy sage, but I'm happy being so, or at least I was. What happens now? I'm so lost, she said, face falling into hands. You are right, we can't do anything about Sasuke and Sakura. We can't punish them or wreak vengeance on someone else now. All we can do is carry on and hope Hinata returns with or without Naruto, as long as she comes back. I don't think she will. Never mind that. Begin the missions again for all Genin, Chunin, and Jounin. It will push the village back into order. Send out some friends to look for Hinata and Naruto, and then we can begin living again. He is dead, Jiraiya. Jiraiya turned fast and threw his glass cup against the wall. It smashed, and Tsunade let out a small yelp of shock and shame. Jiraiya fixed his eyes on Tsunade. Boiling hot anger and disappointment melted into her emotions. He raised a shaky finger as a lone tear ran down his cheek. You have no right, you have no goddamned right to say he is dead. I'm sorry. This is Naruto we are talking about here. He survived multiple Kyuubi transformations, poisons, beatings, and loses, and he got back up each time. You may have lost hope, but many people have not, Hinata for example. Why is his body gone? We would have found bones. I am going to hold on to this scrap of goddamned hope. You can leave it if you wish, but not me. I will not bury my child student, never. Where are you going? I'm going to the Hidden Rain. I hope my old shack is still holding up. If not, then I'll have a little project to keep my mind off this village and its power-monger elders, and most of all its hubris that is shared among this whole ninja world, the kind of hubris that drives people who are different to suicide. Please wait, I need you. I can't do this alone, I want you. HMPH, I've always wanted to hear those words, but I just don't know anymore. As for your advice, Shikaku Nara or Kakashi Haddock would make a fine advisor to this crisis. Stay strong, Tsunade. I certainly can't be. You can't leave, goddammit. I should have never brought Naruto back. This village will always reek of superiority. Peace will never be attainable until this village sees a new beginning. He turned and exited the room, not turning his head, not saying a word. A week later, Sasuke awoke in the darkness of a new day. He reassuringly checked the other side of the bed for Sakura. She was gone. He could see the light of the kitchen down the hallway. He slipped on some pants and buttoned up a white t-shirt draped over the chair. He made his way down the hallways smelling fresh coffee, which was quite puzzling seeing how it was 4 o'clock in the morning. He yawned at Sakura. It's late. I mean early. What's up? He saw her tear-streamed face and ran to her side. What's wrong? You can tell me. Sakura, bad dreams, huh? Yeah, they won't go away too. Felt good and bad when we made love last week. It was so right, but too soon. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. You are mourning. It's fine, we all are, even me. Are you, or are you just saying that to make me feel better? Sakura. I'm tired of classified information. You tell me right now, why did you actually come back? She can't know my true intentions, not yet. I have to tell her part of the truth. I owe her that much. Well, I came back because I'm weak. I can't beat Itachi. There is no use in fighting him. He is the strongest Uchiha alive. I'm tired of giving up my friends and losing more and more of my humanity, so I came back, and truly me and Naruto did fight. He just Kyuubi just. It's fine. I'm sorry I had to ask you. I'm just so damn lost. I can't make sense of it all. She broke down in tears yet again. Many people would think otherwise, but Naruto's death tore her apart inside. Look, it's fine. I'm here, and Naruto is watching us with that big old smile. You know, they both smiled at Naruto's usual catchphrase. It lightened the mood proportionately. Genuine smiles filled the room, which had seemed so dark since the week prior. She giggled hard and pointed at Sasuke. What? Calm down, Sasuke. Women can't be angry all the time. What do you mean? I'm a Uchiha male. I am customarily a strong man. Do strong Uchiha men wear women's blouses? Sasuke looked down and realized he had buttoned up the wrong t-shirt. What looked white in the dark was bright pink in the light of the kitchen. He also failed to notice the decorative flowers adorned along the sleeves. Shit. Itachi had spent the last 2 days spying and measuring the skills of the young Hyuga. Her search led her near the Hidden Rain village. Although she had no luck in finding any clues, it seemed she was just wandering for hope. Itachi observed her impressive medical skills and extraordinary Byakugan abilities. Her taijutsu was also far advanced compared to some of the Akatsuki members. She would fill her place easily. He just needed to pick the right time and place to recruit her. If only he could tell her Naruto is alive, she would join in an instant, beside her personal beliefs on the Akatsuki. Who is there? I know you have been watching me. I may be an ex-Konoha shinobi, but my Byakugan is as sharp as ever. Damn it, she finally noticed me. The Byakugan is powerful indeed. Show yourself or leave. I have more important things to attend to. Itachi emerged from the tree line and leaned on a tree, looking as relaxed as Shikamaru on a lazy day. Oh, by the looks of it, you seem to be wandering the lands in search of answers. Itachi Uchiha. So what is a royal Hyuga heiress doing so far from the village, without bodyguards or even friends for that matter? Itachi pretended to not know her reason, which would help shield any suspicion of the Akatsuki and Naruto being involved. It was best she knew nothing before she joined, or she might join just for Naruto's sake. That is none of your business, especially for a traitor like you. Well, now I don't see any Konoha headband or any Konoha mission gear, unless you are on vacation in the Hidden Rain. I would say you are no different to me. What do you want? Do you wish to kill me? No, not really. The Akatsuki are mercenaries with a personal mission. Neither involves you, however. If I were my colleague Kakuzu, you would make a fine ransom, but I care very little for money, so let me be forward. About what? Join us. You are kicked out of your village. You are a fellow traitor. If you need something done, join us and achieve that goal. We will help you on your way, and if you like it, stay with us. We can't force you to stay with us and cooperate. It would never work like that. Whatever or whoever you are looking for, we have the resources to help you. What do you think? I will not join you. Why would I join a gang of mercenaries? I'm out here for a reason. What reason is that? If you don't tell me now, I can just abduct a Konoha shinobi and torture them until they sing every little thing that has happened in the leaf. Would you like that? No, leave everyone else out of it. Then talk. What is it you want, Ms. Hyuga? I want to find Naruto. He went missing, presumed dead, attempted suicide because of your brother. I'm not surprised. Those two were like water on oil since the beginning, so he's dead. A shame. We could have used his body. You mean you have not heard of this yet? We knew some kind of civil unrest went down, but the village has been so locked up we have had no spies able to investigate. I still refuse your offer. This is my burden, and mine alone. You Akatsuki don't seem so bad now that I'm out of the village and neutral. The village always indulged in hubris. I will find Naruto without your help. So be it. I will be in the Hidden Rain village. I'll know if you are there. The offer is always open. I suggest you go down the road and take a left. Follow the beaten road until you reach an open field next to a river. There you will find an old shack with someone who will help you. They are ex-Leaf as well. I'm sure you won't mind working with them. They were sensei after all. What, who? Itachi vanished before she could receive her answers. She just figured the only way to know would be to go there in person and take it firsthand. She readjusted her pack and pondered the idea of joining the Akatsuki as she traveled down the road towards the shack. Her focus was Naruto, but she knew the resources would be helpful, even if she is just using them. Surely there is a catch. She spotted the shack ahead. It was made of fine-cut wood and stone. It looked more like a lodge than it did a shack. It looked like it was under reconstruction. She could spot the scaffolding and tools surrounding the building. She also noticed a man up on the roof, nailing down shingles. He looked like Santa Claus from this distance, which made her giggle. "Hello." The man threw up his hammer in surprise, and it landed on his head. He groaned and slid off the roof and landed on a pile of sake, girly magazines, and food supplies yet to be stocked inside. He mumbled as imaginative birds tweeted around his head. He opened his eyes and gasped, "Hinata. Jiraiya-sensei." The man threw up his hammer in surprise, and it landed on his head. He groaned and slid off the roof and landed on a pile of sake, girly magazines, and food supplies yet to be stocked inside. He mumbled as imaginative birds tweeted around his head. He opened his eyes and gasped, "Hinata. Jiraiya-sensei. What on earth are you doing here? I know you left the village, but the hidden rain would be the last place I would expect to see you. We need to talk. Lucky enough, I'm done with the last of the renovations. Do you think you can help me bring in the supplies?" "Yeah, sure." She carried boxes of food and equipment into the house and set it on the counter. Jiraiya pulled out a chair for her, and the two sat at the table. He shakily poured 2 cups of tea and sat back with a heavy sigh of relief. "I have hundreds of questions to ask you, but you go first. I can see it is the same for you. What are you doing here? What is this place?" "This place was an old home of mine. I spent 3 years here training some Hidden Rain war orphans who needed my help. They were starving and weak, so I took them in. Those were some of the happiest days of my life. What am I doing here? Well, not living in the leaf, that's for sure. I just can't look at it the same way anymore. It's not the village it used to be. It's not Tsunade's fault, far from it. I feel she is caught up between the elders and the people. How about you?" "Well, they refused to believe Sasuke and Sakura had something to do with Naruto's death. They wanted to bury it so quickly. They forbid me to further investigate, so I cut my ties with the village. I guess that makes 2 of us. So forgive me for asking, but this house it is. It's okay, Hinata, stay here for as long as you like. We both are missing a true home. There's a spare room over there. My old student Konan liked her teenage privacy as well so long ago." "Thank you, Jiraiya-sensei. Don't call me that now that I have left the village. I'm just a pervy old sage, Hinata." "Yes." Jiraiya looked solemn for a second. He wondered how Hinata had found him. Surely it was not a coincidence. Any passerby would ignore such a beat-up shack and head towards the main city. "How did you find me?" "You said we needed to talk, so I am guessing my answer will come from such a conversation." "Yes, well, I was shown here, given directions and advice." "Really? By who?" His brows furrowed in confusion and deep thought. "Itachi Uchiha, member of the Akatsuki. He told me to find you. He wanted me to join." "Join the Akatsuki, right? How did?" "I was asked the same thing, but by a plant-like creature who also wore the Akatsuki cloak. It seems they want all the ex-Konoha ninja they can get. I turned them down. I know they wanted to abduct Naruto and kill him for his tailed beast. I don't know if they are trustworthy. Even the Hidden Leaf wanted to use Naruto as a weapon. No one is good now." "Did you discover anything new about Naruto's location?" "No, nothing. Well, it's a small lead, but I think it's just something a wolf or bear has left behind." "What was it?" Jiraiya crossed the room to a small wooden box. He flipped the lock open and pulled a tiny, thin, transparent piece of glass, but when Hinata looked closer, it became all the more clear. "Is that a scale from a fish of some kind? That's where we found his headband and some blood. I don't even know what species of fish it is, or even if it is fish I could be vital. I'm going to have it examined and identified, but I can't have it examined by any civilian or scientist. It could be risky. Both Akatsuki and Leaf spies are everywhere." "Then what will we do?" Hope diminishing from her face. "I know someone who can identify it. You aren't going to like it, but I'm no longer a part of the Leaf, so." "Who?" "Hate to say it, Orochimaru is our only hope." Naruto perched on the rooftops opposite Hidden Stone Village's police department, his long black cloak flowing behind him. He was invisible in the night. Someone who saw him would only barely make out the red cloud that adorned his new apparel. He read through his mission report and tucked the envelope back into his cloak. He pulled a long rope dart from his kit and spun it at a propeller pace. He flung it forward, and it collided with the open window and pinned itself on the stone wall. He looped off the loose end to a chimney and secured it tight. The report said it must be an assassination, not a slaughtering. This meant complete stealth and no raised alarms until the target was killed. Police Chief Uraki of the Hidden Stone contained documents on defenses, training routines, and top intel on the other countries that the Akatsuki needed. The Akatsuki also wanted Chief Uraki killed so that his deputy Sarami, a hidden rain spy, would infiltrate their ranks and make huge decisions. Naruto's objective was simple: kill the chief and get the documents. Not bad for a first mission. Deployment set he mouthed into a chakra mic. He clipped a wheel handle onto the rope and slid down it towards the open window at high speeds. He could not have jumped the distance without being noticed. The rope dart was crucial in deploying into the station. Stone Ninja patrolled under him as he slid to the railing and hopped in the open window. "I have entered the building." He drew his kunai and made his way from room to room searching for important documents and the chief of police, who was supposed to be working late tonight, according to Deputy Sarami. Naruto would feel no remorse for his kill. If he was to kill Sasuke, he had to be cold. He clenched his fist hard at the thought of that treacherous Uchiha. He rounded the corner and saw the chief at his desk. He looked like the Hokage with all that paperwork. No one was in the office, it seemed. The whole station was either out on duty or in the lower levels. He snuck behind the chief and watched him work, then he composed himself and placed his kunai to the chief's throat, picking him up and whispering into his ear with murderous intent. "Scream or shout, and I'll spill your blood all over that picture of your family. Cooperate and live to see your kids get married and have their own kids. What do you say? Okay, please don't kill me. Where are the Iwagakure report defense files? All the intel you were told to safeguard, lead me to it." "Yes, this way." He led Naruto to a wall safe. He placed his hand to seal jutsu and deactivated it. He opened a steel door, pulled a vanilla envelope, and passed it to Naruto. He checked inside and confirmed that it was the correct files needed. He tucked them into his cloak and tensed. Now came the dirty work. "Please, I won't tell, just don't. You know I came after the files, right? I can't let you tell anyone else. You will watch your kids grow up from the afterlife." "No." Naruto slit the man's throat and set him down on the floor. As planned, he placed the kunai in his hands and pulled a tattered hidden cloud headband from his kid and placed it in the other hand so that it looked like he tried to fight a cloud ninja and was killed in the process. No one would know it was the Akatsuki. Mission accomplished. The door burst open and Naruto ducked behind the desk as shuriken and kunai nailed the walls. Naruto flung his kunai and pinned a man dead in the forehead, bringing him to his knees in an arterial spray of blood. Naruto drew a wakizashi dagger and separated the two guards' heads with one clean Kyuubi-powered slice. Their heads toppled to the floor and lay there, eyes bulged. He could hear more ninja running up the stairway. He turned to the rope dart in the wall and ran across it like a circus rope. He severed it when he arrived on the opposite rooftops and made his way to the extraction point outside the village. "Great job, Naruto, A+. Thanks Toby, your stealth advice worked like a charm. Oh, I'm like your senpai, and you're my little student. Sorry, Nagato is my only sensei. Now let's get going." Toby and Naruto made their way back to the Hidden Rain village to report their success. Naruto got to know Toby better along the way, but he was still a mysterious figure, more so than the other members. That is, until he comes across a dumpling shop. Sasuke raised the cup of sake to his lips and felt the instant relief wash away his troubles, for the time being anyway. They all felt it washed away as each man took a deep gulp of the white elixir they had been denied all their life. They were all at Shino's house. His parents were out of the village on both a mission and a wedding anniversary. Shikamaru took the time to organize a memorial dinner and goodwill to get together for the guys. Surprisingly, Sasuke was invited with open arms, much to his surprise. Shikamaru coughed to make his presence known. A toast to Naruto Uzumaki, a reckless friend and a great ninja who always brought smiles, laughter, and determination to whatever mission he went on. Always making friends wherever he went and bringing money back home with him. Shikamaru stared at Sasuke intently. It was Choji who had invited Naruto, not Shikamaru himself, he continued. He was never one to be depressed, never one to cry. He was always a happy man, surrounded by the people he loved. I would hope to God he died with a smile, however he died. The room went silent, tension was thick and unbearable. Sasuke felt the hostility sink into him. This hostility only came from Shikamaru. Nara's eyes burned into Sasuke's supposed innocence. The mind of a tactician was at play here. To Naruto. To Naruto, they echoed. The men scolded back their drinks and belched in unison. They all laughed, even Shikamaru, and Sasuke grinned. It's how Naruto would have wanted it to be if he were actually dead. They all sat back and ate piles of food and laughed and joked around, as guys should, their own personal mourning and anguish washing away with the day's end. Shikamaru remained in his cold state until everyone was heading home. They all grabbed their coats and made their goodbyes. Sasuke Shikamaru put on a fake smile. Yeah. Could you help me take out this trash bag? These guys are like pigs. What did you call me? Not you, Choji. Oh, okay. Sasuke nodded and headed inside to help Shikamaru pack up. As soon as the group were out of sight on walking towards the distant sunset, Shikamaru grabbed Sasuke by the collars and slammed him against a wall. Harsh venom pulled through Shikamaru's blood. What the fuck did you do? What? Nothing. Bullshit, everything is fine. Then you turn up and Naruto becomes depressed and kills himself. Don't bullshit me. You are still a traitor to me. I can't let you go about the village thinking you are hot stuff. Naruto died for your place in this village. Don't screw it up. I did not do anything. Naruto Sakura, she broke up with him for me. Okay, not many people know she dumped him for me. He took it the wrong way and shit went downhill from there. I tried my best to reason something. I never listened to myself, but just don't screw up this chance you are being given. So we are fine. I have my doubts, but yeah, it would be a drag to be angry forever. He patted his back and sent him on his way. Are you sure you don't want help? Nah, as annoying as it is, I like doing the hard work, helps clear my mind. Goodbye, Sasuke. Bye. The two approached the darkly lit cave entrance. It looked abandoned and almost natural in appearance. Any passers-by would think of it as a normal rock formation, which is what Orochimaru wanted them all to think. Jiraiya, however, was stoned to his former friend's techniques. All they needed to do now was to make contact without dying. Here we are. There is a great chance he won't be here. He has hideouts all over the 5 countries. He is dug in good. So what now? Now, we go inside. They heard a deep slithering sound coming from the cave. A faint shadow began to take form. Hinata stiffened and went to draw out her kunai at the oncoming mystery. Jiraiya put out his hand to slow her. The slithering became louder, then began to undergo changes. The slithering morphed into the sound of footsteps. They could see a faint smile coming out to meet them. He was here. Oh, by all means come in, but please wipe your feet off at the door. Would not want any mud in my laboratories. Orochimaru. Long time no see, Jiraiya. I've heard many interesting things over the last week. Kabuto has been oh so busy. His face softened and became almost sympathetic. I am truly sorry for your loss. Despite past feuds, a student is supposed to bury his master unless he becomes immortal. That is. To think I would hear sympathy from you. He sighed. You humans and your emotions. We came here for a reason, not to catch up on old times. Of course, where are my manners? Come in. He led the two down a long corridor and into a large laboratory space. Large cushioned sofas sat alongside great study tables of reptiles, insects, chakra, and even human organs. Such would be expected of Orochimaru, however. Also typically, Orochimaru sat himself on a great snake-like throne and crossed his legs in a relaxed royalty posture. So then what can I do for you two? You certainly aren't here to kill or capture me, or you would have made a move. Hinata spoke up. As much as I hate it, we need you to identify a piece of evidence we found. What kind of evidence are we talking about here? What's this all for? Jiraiya gestured for her to be silent. He had to be the one to break the news. Only he could handle Orochimaru. Naruto is dead, possibly just missing. The village is in disarray. It was supposedly a suicide. He could not handle the villagers' taunts and the stress of being a jinchuuriki. I see. Yes, Kabuto reported such news. Yes, like I said earlier, you have my condolences. So, what evidence have you brought me? This here, it's some kind of fish scale. We don't know what species of fish it is. It could be a clue, or it could be trash. He passed a box to Orochimaru. He opened it and marveled at the pale blue scale. He flicked a scalpel out of his pocket and cut off a sample. Hinata could see chakra leaking out of the wound instead of blood. She found it very curious indeed. Orochimaru placed it on a slide and added a drop of iodine before placing the slide into a very intricate machine, more than just a microscope. He gazed into its sights and grew stiff. He had seen it before. This is a shark scale, not just any shark. However, how do I put this? It's from a sword. Okay, now I'm lost like usual. Orochimaru, you never cease to make sense. I guess that's where our friendship went wrong. Old friend. No, you killed shinobi for forbidden jutsu. Don't compare the two. I'm curious. Why not use the microscope at Konoha? Your village is far better equipped than I am. We are Rouge. We cut our bonds to Konoha. Hinata gasped. She thought Jiraiya had only left Konoha for a small while, just to mourn, nothing permanent like herself. Jiraiya-sensei, I thought. Jiraiya grabbed something from his pouch and dropped it on the table with a loud clang. Hinata gazed, awestruck at the scratched Sannin headband that so many men had dreamed of earning. Its Konoha symbol slashed with a kunai after his confrontation with Tsunade. Oh Jiraiya, my friend, how is Tsunade taking it? You know how she is, she can handle it. So what drove you to do it? If I tell you, can you jump to the point? Certainly. We were tired of their methods, they refused to investigate Naruto's death, they refused to blame anyone, and they made Naruto's death seem like an accident, as if his depression was not aimed at anyone in particular. I will not live in a village where their hubris drives young men to depression, because they are different, that's all. Oh my. So the leaf really is falling apart. I can't say I am surprised though. You know I was right, don't you? Yes, I know you were right. Good, now, as for this scale you brought me, it's from a sword, however the sword is alive, as if it were an animal, thus the scale was shed from it. Then whose sword was it? One of the 7 hidden mist legendary swordsmen, only one of them has a sword like this, however kiss him. They gasped, his name was familiar. Jiraiya had encountered him with Naruto and Sasuke in a small town outside Konoha. Who is that? Hinata was puzzled. Kisame is a member of the Akatsuki, oh god. The Akatsuki, does that mean? Orochimaru poured himself a glass of blood-red wine, at least they hoped it was wine. He grinned at the two and licked his lips in anticipation. He raised his hand for a chance to speak, it seemed he had vital information they needed. The Akatsuki was using jinchuuriki for rituals. I was a member for a few months. If Naruto is alive then he is already harvested, used for his spirit or chakra. I'm sorry. Wait, so he did not kill himself? No, he did commit suicide, or he did not die from it. There is blood on this scale. The blood is older than the scale, about 2-3 days or more. What's that supposed to mean? It means the scale was shed when they found him. The scale fell in his crusted blood. If the blood was already 3 days old, that means he was lying there conscious for 3 days and no one ever found him. Hinata let out a small whimper, tears began to stream down her face. Her sorrow intensified, she cried out. That means if he was alive and waiting there for 3 days, he could have been waiting for someone to rescue him. He could have felt bad for what he did, but no one ever came, no one came for him. What are you saying, that if he is still alive he must hate the village, he must hate everyone, he must think no one cared about him enough to look for him. He has probably cursed the entire village in his depressed sorrow. He is dead. If the Akatsuki found him, he is already dead. Jiraiya grew teary, as well, this would always be a touchy subject. Orochimaru seemed to be annoyed at the use of emotions, he only sat back and enjoyed his drink. Should we go back to the village of Hinata? We can tell them what happened. No. Why? Because the village never sent anyone else to look for him. People searched on their own accord, no goddamned actions were taken. I want nothing to do with that fucking village. Hinata, okay, so now what? We go and get Naruto's body back, we owe him that much, the world has done nothing for him. Let's get to work. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. If you want the next part of this story, let me know in the comment box. See you next time, till then sayonara.